Rare coin collecting. Discover real value and history in every coin.
This nickel looks worn out and disappointing. Dark gray, scratched all over, the edges rounded from years of abuse. Jefferson's face is soft. Monticello on the back barely stands out, and the surface almost looks dirty no matter how much light you put on it. Most people would assume it's been through too much to matter. Just another ugly old nickel. But this exact kind of coin can be worth over $100,000. And yes, examples are still being found because almost nobody expects a coin like this to be special. This is the 1944 D. Jefferson nickel, and it was struck right in the middle of one of the most chaotic metal experiments in U.S. mint history. By 1944, World War II was consuming everything. Nickel metal was desperately needed for tanks, weapons, and military equipment. The mint could not keep using the normal copper-nickel alloy without hurting the war effort, so the composition of the Jefferson nickel was forcibly changed. From 1942 through 1945, nickels were struck in an emergency alloy made of 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese. It was never meant to be beautiful. It was meant to be fast. The Denver Mint was under relentless pressure. Production quotas mattered more than perfection. Machines ran non-stop. Blanks were moved, stored, reused, and mixed under stress. And that chaos is exactly where the story of the 1944 D. Jefferson nickel turns dangerous. Most people think the value comes from the large mint mark above Monticello. That big D on the reverse makes people believe every 1944 D nickel is valuable because it's silver. That's the misdirection. Nearly all 1944 D Jefferson nickels are wartime silver nickels, and while they're collectible, most are only worth a small premium unless they're in pristine condition. That's not the coin that changes lives. The real rarity is a 1944 D Jefferson nickel that should not exist at all. A tiny number were struck on the wrong metal. Leftover pre-war copper-nickel planchets that were never supposed to be used again. That means a 1944 coin dated deep into the wartime silver era, but made on the old standard alloy. No silver. Wrong weight. Wrong composition. Completely forbidden. Imagine the scene. Old planchets still sitting in bins at the Denver Mint. Wartime silver blanks flooding in. A rushed worker grabs the wrong tray. The press comes down hard. Jefferson's portrait is struck into metal meant for another time. The coin looks normal at a glance. Inspectors are watching output speed, not alloy chemistry. The coin passes. It drops into a bag, gets shipped, and enters circulation. There is no recall because no one knows the mistake happened. That single moment is why these coins exist at all. And here's the twist that fooled collectors for decades. Wear helped them hide. A copper-nickel 1944 D nickel doesn't shine like silver. Years of circulation darkened it, flattened the details, and made it look ordinary. Too ordinary. Collectors dismissed them as damaged or stained silver nickels and moved on. That ugliness was camouflage. Finding one doesn't require advanced knowledge. Start simple. Weigh the coin. A wartime silver nickel should weigh about 5.0 grams. A copper-nickel planchet weighs less. Even a small difference matters. Check the color. Silver nickels tone gray and dull. A wrong planchet coin often has a warmer, more familiar nickel color. Look at the edge. Wartime silver nickels lack a sharp copper stripe. Use a magnet. These coins should not be magnetic. If something feels off, that's the moment to stop and investigate. Collectors crave these because they combine everything that drives extreme prices: a wartime year, a known composition change, and a mint error that was never meant to survive. Certified 1944. D. Jefferson nickels struck on copper-nickel planchets have sold for $25,000, $60,000, and in top-grade, fully authenticated cases, over $100,000. Condition changes everything. Certification changes everything. One wrong gram can mean the difference between 5 cents and 6 figures. And every year they become harder to find. Wartime nickels were pulled from circulation and melted for silver. Others were damaged beyond recognition. Some are sitting in jars, mislabeled and ignored. Circulation doesn't protect rare errors. It destroys them. Survivors become legends. One warning that cannot be ignored. Never clean this coin. Cleaning removes metal, alters weight, and destroys the very evidence experts rely on. A cleaned coin can lose tens of thousands of dollars instantly. What looks like grime may be the proof that saves its value. So if a dark, battered 1944 D. Jefferson nickel ever feels wrong in your hand, don't dismiss it. That wear might be hiding a mistake history was never supposed to see. And this is just one coin. There are others from this chaotic wartime period still slipping through pockets, quietly waiting for someone patient enough to look twice. This coin looks almost too nice to matter. Bright, clean, shining under the light, with sharp edges and a design that hasn't been beaten down by years of pockets and tills. It feels modern, safe, ordinary, the kind of 50-pence people assume can't possibly be rare because it looks too good. And that's exactly why a coin like this can quietly be worth over 700 pounds, while still being found in circulation by people who don't realize what they're holding. This is the 2009 Kew Gardens, 50 pence, in good, shining condition, and it represents one of the most dramatic scarcity accidents in modern British coinage. At first glance, nothing about 2009 feels special. There was no war, no metal shortage, no emergency alloy. But economically, Britain was still shaking from the global financial crisis. Spending patterns were changing, cash usage was uneven, and the Royal Mint was being extremely careful about how many coins it released into circulation. That caution is where the chaos begins. The Kew Gardens 50 pence was issued to celebrate the famous pagoda at the Royal Botanic Gardens, a historic landmark with deep cultural roots. It was meant to be another pleasant commemorative design. But only 210,000 coins were released into circulation. That number is shockingly low for a circulating decimal coin. At the time, no one noticed. There were no headlines, no hype. These coins quietly entered everyday use alongside millions of standard 50-pence coins. Most people think the value comes from how shiny the coin is. That's the misdirection. Shine alone means nothing. Plenty of brilliant modern coins are worth face value. Others assume all Kew Gardens coins are rare. They're not. Replicas, metals, and later non-circulating versions flooded the market, confusing buyers and burying the real story. The true rarity of the 2009 Kew Gardens 50 pence is that it was released into circulation in numbers too small to survive normal use. Unlike collector-only issues, these coins weren't protected. They went straight into vending machines, buses, shops, car parks, and tills. Most were damaged quickly. Edges were knocked, surfaces scratched, details flattened. Over time, huge numbers were lost, destroyed, or spent abroad. No reissue, no second run, no correction. What went out in 2009 is all that will ever exist. That's why a shining example matters so much. A good, bright, lightly circulated or near uncirculated Kew Gardens 50 pence isn't just rare, it's disproportionately rare. The survival rate in high condition is tiny compared to the already tiny mintage. Most examples today are worn. Many are ugly. Very few still look like this. Identification is simple, which makes this coin even more dangerous to overlook. Check the date, 2009. Flip it over and look for the famous Chinese pagoda with climbing vines. The obverse shows Queen Elizabeth II. There are no secret mint marks or hidden symbols. The coin should weigh 8.0 grams and have the standard copper-nickel color. The edges should feel crisp, not mushy. Shine alone isn't enough. Originality matters. Collectors are obsessed with this coin because it hits every psychological trigger: low mintage, circulation release, a beautiful and recognizable design, and a missed opportunity story. People had these and spent them. That regret fuels demand. Circulated examples regularly sell between 120 pounds and 250 pounds. Clean but worn pieces push higher, but shining, sharp examples routinely sell for 500 to 700 pounds, and exceptional specimens have gone even higher. Condition changes everything, and every year the pressure increases. Coins disappear into permanent collections. Others degrade. The supply of high-grade examples shrinks faster than the supply of worn ones. Modern coins don't get rediscovered in hoards centuries later. Once they're gone, they're gone. There's one critical warning that protects everything. Never clean this coin. Even a shiny coin can be ruined instantly. Cleaning removes metal, leaves hairlines, and destroys originality. A cleaned Kew Gardens 50 pence can lose hundreds of pounds in seconds. What looks like dirt or toning might be exactly what proves it hasn't been tampered with. So if a bright, sharp 2009 Kew Gardens 50 pence ever catches the light in your hand, don't assume it's common just because it looks good. That shine might mean it survived when almost none did. And this is just one modern coin. There are others like it, hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone who understands that rarity doesn't always look old. Sometimes it looks untouched.